The P&O mission is to be recognised by the market and our customers as exceptional at what we do. We recognise that all our staff are part of the P&O customer experience and that they have a unique insight into how the business is working.
We've got 5 ships on the short sea and 46 sailings a day in total. With one exception, those ships can carry a maximum of 2,000 people, unlike a restaurant where you'll get a flow of passengers. 2,000 people can come on board. We've got 90 minutes to serve them.
One of the biggest challenges we have is that there's an enormous expectation from them as to what they're going to be able to do. From our point of view, we want to get people into as many of the areas as possible.
We have been focusing more and more on the customer experience. So rather than keep resolving the issues but keep having the problem recurring, this time we want to actually get down to the root of the problem and resolve it once and for all.
You can differentiate yourself on price, on product or on service. Our competitors can copy a lot of what we do, but they can't replicate our people. And if we gave our people the right tools to do the job, then we could fill that service gap. So it's trying to get that standardisation and consistency across 2,500 people, getting process improvement embedded into the culture, if you like, of the organisation.
We've set ourselves apart by customer service, and we have to make sure that we get that right.
The whole object of the project was to improve the customer's experience. The first process we got involved in, we had a problem with serving cold food through our food courts, and we needed to address that.
We knew where customers were saying that things weren't quite right, but we didn't really know in being able to define what some of the problems we faced were.
Despite a focus on customers, some of our initiatives were not delivering the benefits expected, and we needed to understand why.
We'd got systems in place, but it was actually hindering our staff delivering customer service. It was quite hard dealing with the customers that were unhappy, but also for the staff because they were doing their best, and it was actually our processes that were impeding them.
It was making our work much harder, because we were engaged in dealing with customer complaints instead of making sure that actually they are happy.
We were getting lots of complaints about cold food, and we had lots of people, especially in our food courts, queuing firstly for their breakfast, and then coffee machines, drink stations, and then again at the tills.
To come onto the ferry, possibly for the first time, it's the beginning of their holiday, and the first thing they've experienced is a poor service, a poor breakfast, or what appears to them to be a poor breakfast. And we've got to sort of turn that round.
It was a case of trying to look at our processes to try and make it easier for our staff to produce good customer service.
The Improving the Customer Experience ICE team was created to look at complaints as the basis for change, and the team was introduced to continuous improvement as an approach. Continuous improvement is a process that engages everyone involved in service delivery with looking for opportunities to improve.
For the last 6 months, I've been working with the Improving the Customer Experience team to embed some of the new processes.
The ICE panel has been put together.
Everyone had an input, and I think people did buy into it.
What was really nice is when we all went through the training with OEE, they asked us first what were the problems we wanted to tackle. I was the first to raise my hand.
The ICE team was trained in tools and techniques to help them understand the true customer experience, and research was carried out to uncover the real issues causing problems, using data gathering including staff interviews and customer complaints data, brainstorming with representation from across the experience delivery team, customer journey mapping to look at customers' perspective and identify wastes within the process. 5 whys to uncover the real reason for a problem.
It really has been a facilitation of getting the right people together in the room, getting people talking, listening, measuring and defining the problem correctly.
To get so many like-minded people across the business we'd never met before, some of us, to really brainstorm and put things up on the wall, that in itself was really rewarding.
Learning to observe things in a different way, properly using data and measuring things in a way that we'd never have thought would be relevant before.
Simple things, but standing in an area where you're utterly familiar with the processes that are taking place, but looking at it from the customer's perspective rather than looking at it from our perspective as staff members. A simple example of that is the toast in the breakfast service, which almost sounds banal, it's so sort of standard and routine, but when your head's down making toast, the staff were completely oblivious to the chaos that was in front of them as the customers are queuing for that toast.
By fully understanding the process from the customer's point of view, the team discovered that the main problem was that it was taking about 6 minutes for food to cool, but it was taking 10 minutes for customers to sit down. With a clear understanding of the problem, the team set about identifying potential solutions. Using modelling and analysis, different scenarios could be tested on observed data. Process mapping was used to understand where things weren't working well and how waste could be reduced. For instance, excess movement of people, too much work in progress, and defects.
Process mapping's really easy at identifying where the sticking points are.
It was a really useful structured process, and remains so, to get an understanding of what's going on. And more importantly, it gave structure to building solutions, particularly when you got all the team together, when they're very sensitive to a particular issue, pain point that is close to where they're working. It's a brilliant way of getting people involved because they can always see themselves in a process. It's just about, recognising where there is a process, where there is a flow, which enables you to break things up. Queue management and how people are shown visually to get through what to them is a completely unfamiliar environment has been something that we've really learnt to do better.
Following a successful pilot, the team decluttered and improved the layout of the restaurant with better signage. One key area the ICE team discovered caused delays was asking customers what they wanted included in their breakfast. By improving and simplifying the question asked, this helps customers make faster decisions about what they want and shortens the process significantly. And as hot drinks had been a particular issue identified, more drinks machines were added.
Would you like fried or scrambled egg? Fried. Is there anything you don't want with your breakfast?
The process of now how we offer the breakfast, by the nature of how you express yourself, you limit the choice a little bit. You're speeding up the operation purely simply by that.
Removing toast process on breakfast, additional coffee machine and tea boiler, improving the till mapping. They are quite small, but obviously they build up to a much bigger picture. By implementing the changes that the staff work with us to create has made that area a lot quicker and more efficient for the customer.
As shift staff arriving have only a short time to familiarise themselves with the breakfast process, the development of One Best Way user guides and implementation of visual standards ensures consistency of presentation. Changes have also been made to staff working practices to ensure that improvements are embedded and maintained. For instance, the team now have daily huddles.
The morning huddle, the crew get together, they discuss any issues from the previous day, they discuss the working routines for the day, what positions they'll be on, any issues, any changes, and that of course sets them up for the day and they know exactly where they are.
Queuing time has been reduced by 10 minutes and now it takes less than a minute for breakfast to be served. Crucially, it only takes 2 minutes from getting breakfast for customers to sit down. We have doubled the capacity and been able to reduce complaints at the same time. And although this project has been about listening to customers and improving their experience, the team has seen many benefits as well as our customers.
Historically, we've been very, very good at firefighting, rather than taking the time to figure out actually what caused the problem in the first place. And that's why we needed to press pause a bit and do that analysis of root cause so that actually we fixed it properly, not just fixed it and added process on process on process on process.
The difference being the other side of the project for me and my team is just that we trust the business to fix things now. It's proven, they've seen it work in practice, and now they can phone customers back and say, guess what, things have changed. Do you know why? Because we listened and we did something about it.
Using our own managers to actually bring forth the development's been a great success.
Far fewer complaints, and I think the crew are far more positive.
Every morning when I come down to work, I feel better that I am better equipped and my people know what they're doing and I can guide them much easier to do their job.
It's been a very positive experience. It's been great to have been part of it and to have some input and change into the way that we're going to move forward.
We're now moving on to the bars, administration, and we'll be moving on to the next project shortly.
Being part of this programme has been quite an exciting process. I hope it will escalate exponentially as we go through time and we've got more and more people with the skills to actually start looking at process and improving it, we'll find that the level of improvement will accelerate through time.
We've engaged our employees so they feel happier because now we're listening to them, and we're not just listening to them, but we're actually doing something with what they're telling us. I'm a great believer if you get your employee engagement right and they're happy doing their jobs and really giving 110%, that they will then drive customer satisfaction. If you've got happy customers, they're more likely to use your services again, and so it goes on.